The 2021 Knox County graduations are brought to you by the following supporters: Humana, Knox Teachers Federal Credit Union, Knox County Schools, All Occasions Party Rentals, DENSO, Pepsi, Pilot, and our title sponsor, Enrichment Federal Credit Union.
With liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated.
Good morning, and welcome to the L&N STEM Academy's commencement ceremony for the class of 2021. My name is Quentin Rhodes, and it's been an honor and privilege to serve as your senior class president this year. To begin, I'd first like to thank our faculty for their hard work and their utmost support to all their students. I would then like to also thank our administration for guidance throughout this troublesome year, while also recognizing the Knox County Schools District for this graduation today. Finally, I'd like to thank each family for joining us. Without you by our sides, we wouldn't be sitting here today. Let me be honest. Before 2 weeks ago, I had absolutely no idea what I'd be saying in front of all of you. I struggled finding the right words to truly express what these 4 years have meant to us all. The theme for this year's senior class graduation is strength through adversity. We are here today in spite of some pretty tough odds and personal sacrifices, but our adversity is not what defines us. It's our strength. It took one of my closest peers, Matthew Brecher, to remind me of one of my favorite quotes. The late, great Ferris Bueller once said, "Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you'll miss it." This at times seems very obvious, but it's taken me this long to understand what so many senior classes before have meant. Senior year moves quickly, quicker than many of us could wrap our minds around. It feels like just yesterday we were walking into freshman orientation, we couldn't find any of our classes, the stairs absolutely killed us, but most of all, we were alone. Those first 3 weeks proved to be one of the biggest challenges in our high school career for many. As time went by, we slowly found our people, and it soon looked like it wouldn't be that bad. But boy, were we wrong. It took 2 weeks later for us to realize what we had gotten ourselves into. It was apparent that Mr. Bell was not going to make freshman year any easier for us either. The work, the difficulty, but once again, those dang stairs absolutely killed us. Who had ever heard of Canvas? But more importantly, why did we use our email for everything? And why did we switch buildings each class period? We could literally be walking back and forth each time. These were all very important questions that none of us had ever considered. It's amazing how we've grown since our freshman year. Over the past 4 years, we have gone through and lived through so much. Some founded the Church of Blythe. Others conquered the lip sync battle, although truly, that was rigged. But we all witnessed the glorious calves of Miss Ash. 3 legendary moments to go down in the history books. We can all say that we've had a memorable experience at STEM, and I think we lived it to the fullest. Some more than others, and yes, I'm looking at you, Jackson. We weren't just creating memories, we were creating friendships that would carry us for a lifetime. These people would help us grow and mature. They taught us to approach life with an open mind, and they allowed us to be individuals and create our own paths and always find a meaning to life. At the same time, we learned to accept others, think outside the box, seek friendships that we may have never done before, and on our own acknowledge what we all bring in a truly unique way to the table. Something that before STEM, I truly had a hard time of doing. And for that, I look at one student that impacted me the most, and I want to issue a big thank you to Kirby. It was not only the students that encouraged us to grow. A lot of it is due to the impact of the teachers. I want to recognize a few that have helped me become who I am today. Mr. Arnold really got me through my freshman year. Although his heavy sarcasm made me regret chemistry every day, I still appreciate the ability to get absolutely roasted and be fine. But also for convincing me that you're not the main character in Breaking Bad. Mr. Blevins for teaching me that any argument can be won if the right person is backing it up, something that I hope to take with me to college to absolutely crush my minor in political science. Miss Brown for making me understand that psychology is nothing but witchcraft, but it will arguably go down as one of my favorite classes I've ever taken. But more importantly, there are 2 teachers that have made high school for me. Mr. Blythe and Mr. Griffin, feasibly two of the best teachers at our school, fostered my leadership skills and encouraged me to move forward in SGA, which has led me to be standing here today. But more importantly, they give great dating advice. And knowing me, that's something I always needed. The thing is, we made it through one of the biggest pandemics within the last 100 years. We're all sitting here today. Many of us have plans to attend a university, others trade school, some are taking a break, and others have plans to serve our country in uniform. We made STEM our home, but really it's just a place where we grew up. It doesn't matter how our grades ended up, we're here, and to me, that's a win. It's because we're the innovators and the collaborators that have changed the world. We will conquer the future and use the next few years to determine what path we will go down. Oh yeah. When times get tough, we can remember what we did. Our class has defied all odds because of the people that make it up. Without every person's tireless effort and their willingness to never fail, we would never truly be Griffins. I'll leave you with this. Our options are limitless. Follow your passions and chase your dreams. We really only get this moment once. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. But most importantly, don't skip leg day, because just in case we need to climb stairs again, we'll be ready. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Reese Brown, as many of you know, and I just want to take a second to point out the cruel irony in seeing so many STEM students on a football field. Yeah, I personally never expected it. But the speech I'm about to give is, in many ways, an ode to the L&N station, but in many others, an ode to innovation. At times, I found it odd that we went to school in a train station, for it had its fair share of trials. Don't get me wrong, I love staring at the vibrant stained glass, the timeless Italian tiles, and the stunning chandeliers. Though in spite of these beauties, this building also has a number of challenges, which I will endearingly call quirks. I curse the seemingly endless flights of stairs we climbed day after day after day. I curse the walk through the vast parking lot, which was completely fine on sunny days, but miserably wet on rainy ones. Regardless of how fast we power walked, we couldn't avoid being soaked by the pouring rain. I curse the boisterous echoes that resounded throughout the commons, which had to be the result of some spirits haunting this building, refusing to let us know any semblance of peace or quiet. Okay, so maybe there weren't ghosts from the past seeking vengeance by making the commons louder and, at times, insufferable. The phantoms here are courteous and considerate. They generally don't bother us and stick to the attic. But there is something else that haunts our halls, something central to our community, intrinsic to our very existence, yet intangible, something that guides us in both our daily conduct and grand convictions, something that binds us together, even in the wake of adversity. I consider this something to be the spirit of innovation. I can't quite articulate what this is, but I will try to explain it as I understand it. At its core, it is a belief that we can solve the problems with which we are faced. This belief is coupled with a desire to actually do so. It relies upon our faith in our ability to design creative solutions. We are capable of responding to and coping with life's great chaos. So when I think back to this building's many quirks, I think of how this spirit manifests itself in the smallest of our adaptations and innovations. Whether it was in minimizing the frustration on the numerous staircases by shaming people who dared to defy established traffic laws, specifically chastising the underclassmen who walked down the Hogwarts stairs, the audacity of them, I can't get over it. Yes, indeed. By using our backpacks and binders to shield ourselves from being drenched during our dreary parking lot pilgrimage. Or by migrating from the commons, exploring new areas to laugh and talk with our friends, areas where the echo was minimal and the ghosts couldn't hear the gossip. Each of these innovations, no matter how small, was a sort of reformation. Another integral part of the spirit of innovation is love. It is empathy, compassion, connection for both our individual selves and the greater humanity. We innovate, we change to make this world better, not only for personal benefit, but also for one another and the future generations to come. This belief in the inherent value and worthiness of the individual experience reminds me of the humanist tradition. Raphael's School of Athens, which hung upon a station wall, is a testament to the conjunction of the past and the present. Classical thinkers litter the frame, conversing over ideas and aspirations in a rich dialogue that inspired change. In Raphael's time, he celebrated the triumphs of antiquity alongside the innovations of modernity. From him, we learn that we need not eradicate the past entirely, but rather build upon it, cherishing its cultural significance while unlearning its follies and prejudices. The station building itself is an allegory for this, our own little Renaissance. In the words of my favorite humanist, Erasmus, there are some people who live in a dream world, and there are some who face reality. And then there are those who turn one into the other. May we remember this and mirror the spirit of the humanists, reconciling the adversity of reality with dreams of change. Therein lies our strength. We do not have to accept this flawed world in resignation, but rather we may seek to overcome by creating, innovating, and changing. In the past year, our ability to innovate has been tested. I speak for all of my peers when I recognize the insurmountable effort all teachers have put forth this year. You have changed your classroom environments and curriculum in uncertain circumstances, working tirelessly to respond to the trials we have faced. Know that your compassion and compare have supported us during this difficult time, and your devotion to our education models the spirit of innovation. And for this, we thank you. I would also like to thank those who have shown me the importance of love throughout my life. To my mother, whose love of both chemistry and crafting has combined to instill the curiosity of a mad scientist Marie Curie within me. And my father, whose lessons in Alice programming and principled logic have balanced out some of that chaos. And to my older brother, who has spent the past 18 years sharpening my debate and argumentation skills. Innovation is a goal that has persisted throughout history. So may we embody the spirits of Ada Lovelace, Mary Wollstonecraft, and Nicholas Copernicus when we embark upon our future endeavors. May we exemplify their devotion to improvement in whatever lies ahead of us, whether we are engineering cutting-edge technologies, reforming unjust laws, or exploring the ever-expanding heavens. We have spent the past 4 years in this station, travelers awaiting trains to take us to our next destinations. The time we've spent here, surrounded by ghosts, the engineers, architects, and passengers of the past century, has instilled within us the spirit of innovation. So as we depart from the school, may we view every challenge as an opportunity to innovate, for our strength lies within our capacity to respond to the adversity we face. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alex Slisher. Let's go throw back a second. I remember us all gathered in the commons during freshman orientation, too afraid to talk to each other, all scared of being thrust into an unfamiliar environment. An environment where, if we were lucky, we knew a couple of our peers, none of the teachers, and definitely not the area or building. I remember us awkwardly shuffling down the halls as we toured the school for the first time, trying to wrap our heads around our schedules and the room naming system. For example, let me just refresh our memories. Does anyone know how many times we said depot or asked how to get to the mezzanine? And when we were forced to group up and complete that design challenge with marshmallows and noodles, nobody wanted to speak to each other. And I have to say, that silence was deafening. If you had known me freshman year, you would know that going up and speaking to a crowd of this size is not something that I would ever do. I was the kid that always sat in the back of the class, too afraid to speak up, and I definitely would not go up to someone, teacher or peer, and talk to them. In fact, when I met my band teacher, Mr. Gibson, for the first time, I could not even look him in the eye. Knowing myself and recalling freshman orientation, I had doubts in our ability to actually talk to each other, much less form a cohesive community. Take a moment and look how far we have come. One of the largest differences we have compared to other schools is our community. While the word is thrown around many times in many different contexts, to me, the STEM community is not just one thing. Collectively, we as students, along with the incredible teachers, administration, and our family, make STEM STEM. 4 years ago, we all made the same choice to leave our zoned community to come here. This decision has impacted us far more than our 14-year-old selves could have ever imagined. Right from the beginning, we learned how to empathize and collaborate through a multitude of lessons on the D-School process that burned these skills into our brains. More than that, though, we learned to not let our differences divide us. Instead, we used them to come together, holding deep, meaningful conversations from diverse perspectives and vast worldviews. Our varying ideals, interests, gender expressions, sexualities, and religious views did not separate us into homogeneous factions, but rather provided an opportunity to empathize and learn about the world from different perspectives. Because of this willingness to engage with a variety of others, we created a culture and community in which everybody truly belongs. We went from being silent strangers to friendly peers, forging a unity within our community. We celebrated each other's successes, and we supported each other through failures and adversity. But it's not just the students that make our community so special. We would be absolutely nowhere without our incredible teachers. Teachers that love what they teach and make you excited to walk into class and learn. Teachers who are not afraid to meet with you before, during, and after school if you need help. And teachers who are not afraid to answer the many, many questions we have. And some of us have what seems to be countless. Teachers who take time out of their personal lives to sponsor our clubs, aren't afraid to stay at school until practically midnight for events, and create environments that allow us to be ourselves and grow our confidence. And finally, teachers who are always there for you if you need a friend. STEM's teachers are just as much a part of our community as we as students are. And this community gives us strength. If this pandemic has shown us anything, it is the strength and resilience our community has. If our laughter at the constant changing of Zoom backgrounds, random 3 a.m. texts, or frantic messages from a virtual student begging to be let into class after being stuck in the team's lobby for upwards of 15 minutes is any evidence, we didn't drift apart. We did not stop learning. We only grew. Many of us face countless challenges throughout our 4 years here, some more than others. But I know for a fact that every single one of us had at least one person we could turn to. Every time we struggled, we grew stronger, closer, and this allowed us to prepare ourselves for even greater challenges. Though I'm not sure a pandemic is what we had in mind. Regardless of where each of you are going or what you are doing after graduation, you're going to be thrust into an unfamiliar environment again. It is not going to be the same as it was here at LNN. As cheesy as it sounds, we are all starting a new chapter in our lives. But also remember your time here. Remember your community. Remember the feeling of being a part of this community, and try to do the same, even if it's just a couple of people. If you are going to a college or university, do some research and try to join some clubs or organizations, or sign up for events. Even if you're like me and you have to make yourself do these things, I promise that it is better and more fun to run through the whole fountain rather than just watching and feeling the mist on your face. Not only that, but keep in touch with the people you have met while at LNN. Some think of these past 4 years as a trial run for college. However, regardless of if you think of your time at LNN as the window we broke freshman year or the beautiful stained glass in the media center, continue to use this community we spent 4 years growing as a source of strength. But do not be afraid of starting your own. Thank you.
Hello. So my name is Melissa Walsh, and I will be presenting the Phoenix Award. The Phoenix Award is traditionally given to a student who has overcome great challenges in his or her time at STEM. According to Greek mythology, a phoenix is a bird that rises from its ashes and is born again. Some say that it dies in a show of flames and combustion, and others say it quietly disappears, only to rise again the next day. For the past 2 years, STEM has had its very own phoenix living among us. He has faced challenges and situations that none of our students have had to face, and literally rose from the ashes to reclaim his life and start anew. While most of us were struggling through the pandemic, this student was also struggling through his diagnosis and treatment of cancer. While I mainly worked with freshmen and sophomores, I stayed with Campbell through his junior and senior years, and he served as a constant reminder of the light that can exist in a dark time. He was always present in his meetings, whether it's from the car on the way to a doctor's appointment, in the hospital at Vanderbilt awaiting treatment, or resting at home from a long trip to Nashville and back. On top of that, Campbell worked with his siblings to provide YouTube videos for 9th graders, triple tips for those who want to check it out, ran virtual study groups each Monday afternoon for the virtual students, and was even able to rejoin the tennis team his senior year. If anyone should be called a phoenix, it is him. Congratulations to the 2020-2021 LNN STEM Academy Phoenix Award winner, Campbell Maben.
Each year, the faculty selects a graduating senior for the Griffin Award. The recipient of the Griffin Award is someone who embodies the very best of what it means to be a scholar at the LNN STEM Academy. In order to be considered for this award, scholars must distinguish themselves from their peers while exemplifying the STEM habits of professionalism, inquiry, collaboration, design, critical thinking, and innovation. When asked to say a few words about today's recipients, teachers stated that this student has the uncanny ability to glean a lesson out of every life experience. Teachers also noted an amazing commitment to enhancing the lives of others. After attending a Model UN conference, our recipient reflected on their views of leadership by stating, "Leadership, I realize, is not about being viewed as the best, it's about uniting people and working with everyone to produce a good product. Leadership is about understanding people and amplifying everyone's voice. She has given selfishly to our school, represented us with integrity, and always provided support to her peers. It is with kindness, humor, dignity, and empathy that this student defines what it means to be a Griffin. It is my honor to invite Reese Brown to the stage to be recognized as the 2021 Griffin Award winner."
Hello, everyone. I'm Campbell Mabin, and welcome to my TED Talk. When you first came to the LNN STEM Academy as a freshman, probably feeling intimidated and terrified, like I was, you may have thought, wow, how do the seniors manage all of their difficult classes? They seem so confident. They must have so much figured out. But by the time our senior year rolled around, I thought, wait, this is it? I'm going to be graduating, but I don't feel much different. And I doubt that I'm alone in saying that I don't have it all figured out. My mom recently informed me that this trend may not change by the end of college, or even by the time you're almost 50. If anything, additional life experience only makes you more aware of how little you really know. Yet this year, there were wide-eyed freshmen on the tennis team who were so eager to listen to me because I'm a senior. Sometimes it almost felt like they were waiting for me to impart some kind of secret STEM wisdom. And I wanted to say, why are you taking me seriously? I don't know any more than you do. But to say that we have nothing to offer, no advice to share, as seniors in high school would be to discount our experiences, especially in the past year or so. I'd like to share some of my experiences with you. For those of you who don't already know, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, a cancer of the lymphatic system, in October 2019. After intensive treatment, I finally achieved complete remission. I haven't been to school in person for most of my junior year, and this year, as a senior, I've been both homebound and virtual. Consequently, it feels a bit odd to be giving a speech at graduation because I don't feel like I know this graduating class as well as I could have if I hadn't been sick. As my fellow virtual students would likely agree, sometimes I feel like a visitor from another planet, particularly at sports and school events this past month. For most of my junior year and some of this year, I only left my house to go to chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or immunotherapy treatments. I quickly fell behind in school due to this slew of medical appointments and hospital admissions, and so I worked with my homebound tutor, Jenny Weldon, to catch up. As you can imagine, homebound schooling as a cancer patient was very isolating. My best friends, my siblings, Kieran and Maddie, went to school without me, and I felt out of touch with my other friends and classmates. I was only in my second month of cancer treatment when COVID-19 started to spread in December. Suddenly, I was an immunocompromised patient in the middle of what would become a global pandemic. So, I did what anyone else would do in my situation. I became extremely close friends with my family's two cats, Roscoe and Yoshi. I may have taken one too many selfies with them. And as I inevitably ventured outside the quiet of my house and into my backyard, I found new friends hiding in plain sight: birds. If my experience with cancer and the pandemic has done anything for me, it's allowed me to slow down and appreciate what I didn't notice before. In my previous state of what I would call academic tunnel vision, I always knew birds existed, but I didn't truly pay attention to them or the beautiful nature that surrounds us here in Knoxville. As I dealt with some of the more frustrating side effects of my treatment, the birds didn't stop singing. As spring arrived, my grandmother mailed me a hummingbird feeder, and I made friends with at least 3 ruby-throated hummingbirds. I named them Larry, Barry, and Terry, though they were hard to tell apart. Soon enough, I was spending a lot of my free time bird watching and learning about bird photography. The birds were a huge perk to being stuck at home. And even this year, beyond some of the isolation and frustrations of virtual schooling, there have been some perks. For one, I managed to get away with a wardrobe of only sweatpants for quite a while. Not to mention the flexibility of virtual school. I could eat at any time I wanted, and I could wake up at 9:28 a.m. for a 9:30 class. All I had to do to get to school was reach over the side of my bed and grab my computer. Some days in AP Calculus became bring your pet to school days for the virtual students, and I had the distinct honor of meeting Javier's pet bunny. I've had plenty of emergency room visits as a cancer patient, but this past November, I had an autologous stem cell transplant as part of my treatment. I took a month off from school and spent 3 weeks as an admitted patient at Vanderbilt Children's Hospital while a team of doctors used the transplant process to completely reset my immune system. It was the most difficult experience of my life, and coming reasonably close to death has given me the chance to reflect on what's most important to me in this life so far. Given that I'm only 18 and have limited life experience, I don't have any profound wisdom to offer. I don't even think I'm far enough out from cancer and COVID-19 to fully articulate how I've changed as a person, if I even have at all. At least for me, and for now, I'm convinced of the power of kindness. Friends, friends of friends, and people I don't even know have brought meals for my family, made donations, and prayed for my full recovery. I wouldn't be here without the competence and the kindness of many doctors. I wouldn't have kept up in school without the support, the patience, and above all, the kindness of my teachers. And I realized that I've been very lucky to be at a school full of brilliant and kind people. LNN is really the best of both worlds. It is, academically, one of the best schools in Knox County and one of the top schools in the state. But I can't imagine a more kind and supportive environment. The people at LNN inspire me to be a kinder, better human, and less of a self-centered, cynical teenager. This is a daily mission, and I only wish I could have spent more time with everyone. Even if we can't know it all as young adults, we're already remarkable in our capacity for kindness. No matter which path you take from here, I hope you'll remember the kindness of our school community and carry it with you into the world. We hear the mantra, be kind, all the time. The words be kind are everywhere, from t-shirts to Twitter bios, but it can be easy to filter this message out or reduce it to mere virtue signaling. For me, the vital importance of kindness was something hiding in plain sight, just like the birds in my backyard. Thank you.
Good morning, class of 2021, friends and family. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce myself, seeing as none of you actually saw me in class this year, and if you did, I'm most likely too far below your eye level to actually be seen. My name is Abigail Lee, and I am living proof that you can graduate high school while still getting your lefts and rights confused on a daily basis. As an almost graduate of the LNN STEM Academy, I'm so grateful for everything the school has taught me, from those STEM habits all the way to the more practical life skills, like how to dodge a frisbee, or how to sneak out to the parking lot during lunch to wipe the chalk marks off your tires so you don't get a ticket. But I'm even more grateful that I got to spend 4 years with the most unique and wonderful group of people I could possibly wish to. I've made some of the best friends, thank you Eli and Jackson, and my eyes have been open to new points of view I truly believe I could not have experienced anywhere else. Now, this was the point where I would have planned something inspirational to speak about, but after learning I would be following Reese, Alex, Quinton, and Campbell, I figured they would take care of that for me. So instead, I'm going to offer my most sincere thank you to the LNN STEM Academy and its family for 4 years of complete and unfettered growth. This school has allowed me to stand before you today as a successful graduate, ready to start the next phase of my life, and the same goes for every single one of you walking alongside me today. As Laura Soretta once said, "For knowledge is not given as a gift, but is gained with diligence. The free mind, not shirking effort, always soars zealously towards the good, and the desire to know more grows ever more wide and deep." And that is the mindset I would like to charge our class with here today. No matter what your interests are or where you think your talents may lie, I hope you chase the knowledge you wish to obtain. For the past 4 years, I've been fortunate enough to journey alongside some of the most diligent and hardworking people I can imagine. But I've been even more fortunate to see that for many of my classmates, that hard work felt like nothing because they were pursuing a passion. So, class of 2021, I hope you choose to chase your passions and your interests above anyone else's. And I hope you know that you'll have these same people walking beside you and pushing you forward no matter where that journey leads. This school has equipped us with the resources to chase our own passions, and for that, my gratitude to the LNN STEM Academy will never end. But I also owe an insufficient thank you to all the teachers and faculty who have brought my own dreams to life, especially to Mr. Blythe and Mr. Griffin, who have always and will always be representations of servant leaders and encouragers, and who have supported me through everything from dislocated shoulders to last-minute stressed-out speech writing. I'm so proud of us, class of 2021, and I'm incredibly excited to see what wonderful and I'm sure rather surprising things you'll do in pursuit of your passions. But I'm more excited to see us all get across this stage. Congratulations and thank you.
Well, good morning. So I'm honored to be here today on what's a momentous occasion in our students' lives. Before we begin, I want to recognize some important people in attendance today. These people have been there for not only our students, but for our school for the last 4 years and longer for many. And that is those in attendance in the stands. The wonderful accomplishments of these young adults was supported by you with your love and, more important than anything, a shoulder to cry on. On behalf of our staff and students, I want to thank you. I'd also like to recognize our officials in attendance today. Assistant Principals Stephen York and Melissa Walsh, Knox County School Superintendent Bob Thomas, Mayor Glenn Jacobs, School Board Representative Ebony Satterfield, and Larson J., Commissioner. Thank you all so much for all that you do for our students and school in your different capacities. I want to also recognize the amazing group of people sitting on the field that are not graduating today. The staff of the LNN STEM Academy. This is a This is a special day in the careers of our teachers as they get to watch the product of their hard work as well when these students walk across the stage. In particular, this is a very special day for our lamp bearer, Dr. Debbie Brecher. Dr. Brecher is going through her 8th graduation today, leading our physical education and wellness classes, sponsoring SGA and other organizations. She's done so with such a positive energy and enthusiasm for this school. On top of all of that, Debbie and her husband Nathan are watching their 5th student walk across the stage as a graduate of the LNN STEM Academy. Thank you for all of your years of service and continued service to our community, Debbie. This year has been one of transition for our school, as we've seen a few staff members who are spending their final graduation with us as part of the faculty. All have been integral pieces of the success of our school over the last decade. In fact, 2 members of our original faculty have retired or transitioned into new roles outside of the LNN this year. Rebecca Ellis and Sherry Jorgensen, please stand if you're with us today, as we thank you for your years of service to our school and the students of Knox County. In addition, we have 2 members of our English department who have been here for 8+ years, who have transitioned to new roles, one with our partners in the Tennessee STEM Innovation Network, and one to become an administrator himself at the Honora Academy. Misty Brown and Sean Blevins, thank you for all that you've done for our students and community. Now on to the main event, the students. Again, this year, I am blown away by all of your academic accomplishments. Every year, I get the opportunity to kind of look through some of these numbers, and it just blows my mind. I want to acknowledge a few of the staggering group accomplishments that stuck out to me this year. So in the class of 2021, you're going to notice 83 students who are graduating with honors or distinction. That's out of 134. The class of 2021 has taken 231 AP tests with 26 AP scholars and a potential for many more, as well as many more students graduating with the AP capstone diploma after they finish these tests this summer. If you don't know what that is, it's an incredible task to be able to accomplish. This group of seniors has also amassed almost 236 college credits in their high school career through dual enrollment. We also have 2 members of the graduating class joining our armed forces. The class of 2021's ACT numbers are the most incredible to me. So the average ACT score for this group of students in front of us is 26.4, with over 1/3 of the members of this class scoring a 30 or above. In addition, this group of seniors has been athletically successful at the school with state championships in team and individual sports. You've seen great success in all 4 years in sports. Congrats to this year's pole vault state champion, Matthew Bretcher, and state tennis champion, Evan Carr, and runner-up, Maddie Maben. Speaking of the Mabens, which has kind of been the theme today, I guess, it's incredible to think about their musical, academic, and athletic accomplishments. What an incredible family. Also, how cool is it that for such an incredible family of triplets that this graduation falls on their birthday? So happy birthday, Maddie, Campbell, and Kieran. So I'm excited to share some time with you today as we celebrate all that you guys have done and what you're going to do. As I said at the senior send-off this past year, I still remember when many of you came to the school to tour prior to your 9th grade year of STEM. Bright-eyed, scared, and very, very tiny. Now I look at some of you and just am amazed at what sits in front of me. You have so dramatically changed in your 4 years here. When entering high school, all of us are pretty small. At that age, we're all relatively small in both our cognitive ability and emotionally. But now I look out into a crowd of students who have truly embraced the qualities that we stand for as a school, the foundation of who we are and what we do. I see a group of some of the most empathetic, strong, and brilliant young minds that this world has to offer. I see a group of students who have not had things handed to them, but have earned what they have. Though for some of you, it may have taken Mr. York giving many reminders about your edgenuity percentages toward the end of the year, or being pulled into his genius hour on a daily basis to be able to finish those. And I believe I heard that being referred to as being yorked by somebody when their name got called. But in all seriousness, I see a class of students who's amassed, again, only 134 of you, over $6 million in scholarships, as well as acceptance in some of the most prestigious universities in the world, including what I believe to be the school's first 2 attending Ivy League universities. I see a group of brilliant-minded, both future and current engineers, computer scientists, and politicians. I think about students like Abigail Lee here, who was your Knox County School Board representative for the entire district. I think of students like Tyler Duckworth and his work at the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, helping design cooling systems for computers using water. I think of Jack Lathrop and his ability to work through the D-School process in his work in graphic design for the school. Pardon, I need a drink. Now, Jack and I have worked on some stuff together, and we may have veered off a little bit during that for Jack to show me some really cool roller coaster videos. But Jack, got us back on task. But I also think of students like Kirby Reynolds and Kirby's community activism and his work to create an inclusive community prom for members of the local LGBTQ plus community. These are all current works that you guys have accomplished while in high school, and that's absolutely incredible. In front of me today, I see a group of students who weren't handed those opportunities. You took them, you grabbed them, and you ran with them. I see a group of students who won't be handed anything moving forward. As these guys have talked about today, you're going to face adversity. We all do. But remember that someone before you has faced challenges like these and conquered them. This class is unique in so many ways because of what you've experienced in your 4 years here. From these staffing transitions, the obvious global pandemic, you all have faced adversity that high school students traditionally do not have to face. You've handled it with grace, dignity, and with the poise that I expect you to handle the adversity for the rest of your life. You all focused on what you could do, and you created new traditions at the school instead of mourning what wasn't. One of the most impactful things that you have unknowingly done is teach us all an important lesson. You've taught us to be present, to live in the moment that we are in, and to focus on what is and not what isn't. As I watched you all this past year, I was reminded of a book I read my kids before bed a few times a year called The 3 Questions. Selfishly, it's way more my alley than the books my boys usually ask me to read, like Captain Underpants or some Minecraft storybooks that I completely do not understand. This one, though, is based off of the Tolstoy story, The 3 Questions, which is a parable of an emperor who seeks out a holy man on a mountain for answers that he believes are going to help him become a great ruler. In the version I read my boys, though, we read about a boy named Nikolai who was uncertain of the right way to act. So as the title says, he has 3 questions that he wants answered. When is the best time to do things? Who is the most important one? And what is the right thing to do? In this story, Nikolai does what any one of us would do, and he goes to his friends. His friends, like many of us, are a heron, a monkey, and a dog. Karen, I think you can relate here in some of this from our Campbell in hearing that. But they're giving differing advice that just didn't seem right. So he asked the old turtle, another animal, Leo, the 3 questions. Dramatic events, of course, then unfold. And in the story, Nikolai helps Leo, the old turtle, out by digging his garden when he came upon him, because it's obviously easier for a young boy to dig a garden than for a turtle to do so. And he wanted to help out Leo. So while doing so, a storm came, big wind and rain, and during that storm, Nikolai heard the sound of a crying animal in the distance. It was a little panda who had fallen from a tree and injured its leg. I promise this is going somewhere, guys. Nikolai then took the animal into Leo's home, and he made a splint for it. The panda was grateful. The wise old turtle looked on and smiled at Nikolai. So everything was great. Next morning, woke up, it's sunny out, birds were singing. His 3 friends were there, the heron, the dog, and the monkey. Nikolai felt great peace within himself. He had wonderful friends, and he had saved the panda, but he also felt disappointed. The whole point of him coming there was to try to find the answers to those 3 questions. So he asked Leo, the turtle, one more time. And Leo told him he actually had the answers already. If he hadn't stopped to help him in the garden, he wouldn't have heard the panda, and he wouldn't have helped bend her leg. That was the most important thing to do in that moment. So remember, then, that there's only one important time, and that time is now. The most important one is always the one you are with. And the most important thing to do is good for the one who is standing by your side. So the moral of the story is to live in the present moment, rather than grumbling about the past or anxious about tomorrow. Consider every person we meet in that moment as significant. Focus on the present moment, because we don't know what huge impact that may have on the future. You all taught us that this year. You taught us to be present, to slow down, to focus on what's important. And I'm very grateful for that. You may not realize the impact that you have had on the staff of this school or the underclassmen. I'm grateful to have had you in my life for these past 2 years. You've taught me so much, as well as the rest of our faculty. In closing, I want to leave you with this today. You are the next generation of great thinkers and problem solvers, and you have a unique opportunity to, with everything that you've learned and experienced at the L&N STEM Academy, to change the way we go about doing life. You have that in front of you, waiting to be taken. You all are the legacy of the people in those stands. You're my legacy. You're this school's legacy. I challenge you to forge your own legacy that changes the world for the better. Be the new leaders of this community and world. And just like I told the class of 2020 ahead of you, remember the words of Carl Sagan. Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known. Find those things for our world. Now for what you've all been waiting for here in the hot sun. Man, you were ready. The presentation of your L&N STEM Academy diplomas. Please stand as you are released by faculty or by the ushers row by row. Guests, I ask you to hold your applause until the end so that we can honor all students. See how that goes.
Abigail Lindsay Lee. John Quentin Thomas Rhodes. Campbell Collins Mabin. Alex Taylor Slisher. Reese Hannah Brown. Miriam Syed Ahmed. Ayana Amari Albright. Delaney Abigail Arnold. Eric Peter Io. Eliana Maria Badillo. Amaya Shanae Bass. Sydney Taylor Bennett. Erin Jenna Berry. Anna Grace Boney. Henna Ahmed Salah Bashnag. Noah Bosilka. Matthew Rush Britcher. Grace Ling Bryson. Blue Lindsay Wood. Christian Brown. Aiden Luke Burkholder. Lily Brianna Burnett. Jackson T. Bouchard. Jennifer Christine Butler. Evan Michael Carr. Isabella Faith Carrera. Juliana Grace Carrera. Michelle Carlina Carrera. James Oliver Castle. Julian Claren. Gabriel Luke Clark. Anna Faith Cook Tompkins. Connor Reed Crapo. Hallie Renee Davis. Helena Mackenzie Delzer. William Patrick Dishman. Tyler Jackson Duckworth. Gavin Ellis Inslee. John Patrick Inkema. Lauren Margaret Fannin. Declan Grant Keith Fall. Rawan Nasser Farwana. Rachel Elizabeth Fetzer. Emily Elizabeth Forrester. Sophia Gabetta. Lillian Jade Gilch. Clayton James Gilmer. Dalton James Gibson. Matthew Carl Givens. Robert Usher Gladwin. Dranol Lindell Glenn. Javier Ignacio Gomez Marchant. Elijah Rylan Green. Miller James Grimsley. Zach Dylan Harrison. Ian Christopher Hawkins. William Blue Hellwinkle. Brian Hernandez Reyes. Eric Nathan Higgins. Callie Ann Holland. Benjamin Roby Hunt. Eli Christopher Johnson. Kayla Rose Ewell. Ilsa Anna Quaper. Max Lancaster. Kaya Lily Landrum. Jack Henry Lathrop. Zane Ann Lester. Haley Marie Lester. Piper Livesey Aaron Leggett.
He was late. He does not have a card. Do you have a card?
Eiler Luschek. What's up, Kieran? Kieran Knight Mabin. Madeline Ann Mabin. Eliza Pearl Marshall. John McDonald. Alex Ross McGee. Andrew Scott Miller. Masden Elizabeth Miller. Meredith Elise Mincy. Catherine Isabella Moran. Rosie McKenna Wallace Jones. Abigail Paige Myers. David Keith Niday. Patrick Shane O'Hagan. Ivy Ann Parker. Grayson Matthew Pettit. Liliana Renee Pilcher. Camilla Anna Pinto Trotter. Chloe Evelyn Porter. Kaylee Patricia Reddington. Kirby Cullen Reynolds. Sarah Richards. Natalie Abigail Richardson. Olivia Faith Riley. Noah Anthony Rivera. Sadie Grace Rockwell. Henry James Rudder. Dakota Douglas Rutherford. Andrew Carter Sarfi. R.J. Rollman. Evan Dale Seaver. Elijah Micah Skyrick. Wesley Ross Slagle. Yeah, that's right. Silas Henry Slaybaugh. Michael Hayden Smith. Nathan Thomas Staff. Nicholas Strait McCahill. Emily Caroline Swenson. Mountain Timothy Swenson. Andrew Dylan Thomas. Nicholas Joseph Thompson. Mia Elizabeth Thurmer. Aaron Colton Lee Tipton. Catherine Rose Trent. Madeline Elizabeth Trout. Shane Andrew Tucker. Trey Adam Tuggle.
Laura Ana E. Joaquin Santizo. Lucas Keller Vaughn. John Kevin Walker. Faith Elizabeth Wareheim. Levi Marshall Waxmonsky. Ruby Catherine Wagley. Nathan Russell White. Olivia Denver Wilkerson. Evan Oliver Wynn. Sean Wood. Mason Scott Wright.
Without further ado, will the class of 2021 please stand? Now, please move your tassel from the right side to the left, signifying your completion of the requirements set forth by the state of Tennessee and Knox County Schools, and that you are a graduate of the L&N STEM Academy. By the power vested in me by the state of Tennessee, the Knox County School Board, and Superintendent Bob Thomas, I now declare that you have met all requirements to be a graduate of the L&N STEM Academy. Parents, families, and honored guests, I present to you the L&N STEM Academy Class of 2021. Students, this is that time if you feel led.
The 2021 Knox County graduations are brought to you by the following supporters: Humana, Knox Teachers Federal Credit Union, Knox County Schools, All Occasions Party Rentals, DENSO, Pepsi, Pilot, and our title sponsor, Enrichment Federal Credit Union.